People of Wycombe, stop what you are doing, and if you are able, stand and applaud, because Gareth Ainsworth has led Wycombe Wanderers to the Championship, the highest level of football that they have played in their history, beating Oxford United 2-1 at Wembley Stadium tonight. Wycombe Wanderers will be playing in the Championship next season.
That was just amazing, you know. We can't afford the best footballing players, but heart and determination, and that was a Wycombe performance. I'm so proud of the boys, you know. They just ground it out. They were just, honestly, I can't believe it.
No matter where we finish on the table, this will be the highest finish in Wycombe Wanderers history. And so it is going to be a tough road to hoe.
It's going to be a real learning curve, and there's no better place to learn than Wycombe. It's a brilliant atmosphere, great people work here, and very proud to be the manager and wake up every day. Very lucky, very happy, and I wanted to give my all, and that will continue into the Championship, definitely.
I'll say it for the people in the back. Wycombe's in the Championship. Wait, I'll say it one more time. Wycombe's in the Championship. Wait! People in the back didn't hear me. Wycombe is in the Championship.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound, the Wycombe Wanderers Show.
And that was just 22 short months ago. And once again now, Wycombe are on the cusp of a return to the second tier of English football. All that stands between them and a place in the Championship are the Black Cats of Sunderland. And tonight on the Wycombe Wanderers Show, we will be previewing Saturday's game that, of course, kicks off at 3 p.m. at Wembley Stadium. I'm Bob Johnson, with you for the next hour. I should mention the fact that Colin Besley this week is very much absent from the show, and that is very much because we didn't want to jinx anything with regards to the playoffs. Colin and I discussed quite a lot the fact that actually he couldn't do this week's show and I'm not around for next week's show, but we didn't want to change anything with regards to that, just in case it meant that the Chairboys didn't get to Wembley. So that is why Colin is not with us this week, but he will be very much part of the programme because he has taken part in a couple of the press conferences, and I will hopefully be very much part of next week's programme, which Colin will present next Thursday from 7 o'clock here on Wycombe Sound. So coming up on this playoff special, we will be hearing from pretty much almost all of the players. Sam Vokes, David Stockdale, Jason McCarthy, Joe Jacobson, Lewis Wing, Ryan Tafazolli and Adebayo Akinfenwa will be joining us. We will also hear from Head of Media Matt Cecil. We will hear from Wycombe Wanderers commentator Phil Catchpole. We'll hear from Trust Director Lisa Bowker. We will hear from Chairman Rob Couhig, Matt Bloomfield as well, and of course Gareth Ainsworth. But without further ado, let's get cracking, because we have got a lot to get through over the next hour or so. And of course we had the fantastic news this week that Sam Vokes has signed a new contract. He will be staying at Wycombe Wanderers for the next season. I went up to the training ground on Tuesday and had a chat to Sam and said to him what a confidence boost it must be for the whole club that he was happy to sign the season-long contract before the playoff final result was known.
From a personal point of view, there was no doubt in my mind that's what I wanted to do. I'd made my mind up a while ago, and in signing here last summer it was kind of a year's contract with the option, so to take that option up, like I said, there was no doubt in my mind at all, and it was nice to do that before this weekend, really, because it gives everyone the reassurance that whatever the outcome comes Saturday, this is where I want to be.
What were you expecting actually before you came to Wycombe Wanderers? What did you heard about the club?
I didn't know many of the lads. I knew JJ. I'd been in touch with him before I joined. But to be totally honest, when I was at Stoke in pre-season last year, the manager picked the phone up to me and we had a great chat. And I got off the phone that day, went home, and told my wife that's where I want to go. So that's where we're going to end up. And it happened to be that, and everything he said on the phone that day came true, really. A lot about the culture, a lot about the club, a lot about the team, the staff, and how we work here, and nothing's changed. And that's what I love. It's good people, hard-working people that have got a goal, and hopefully we can achieve that.
Presumably when you say to your wife, I'm moving to High Wycombe, I can imagine that possibly there's a slightly confused look on her face.
No, not at all. We've been around the country with football for years now, and that is part of the job, but no, I think she knew, and the family knew I was desperate to go out and enjoy my football again, and I had a feeling that this was going to be where I could get that feeling back, and it has come true.
And I think we can all see that, actually. Just even in the stands, you can see that you're having a great time here.
Yeah, well, that's great, because if you can play with a smile on your face, that's half the battle, really. And I believe I try and do that come most weekends, and it also helps when you're a successful team doing well. So it's been a great season for us. I think everything we wanted to achieve, and a points total this year was huge, in probably the toughest League One I've ever seen, and to reach this on Saturday, come what may, come Saturday afternoon, but it's been a successful season, I see.
And how big a game is Saturday's? Obviously you've achieved a lot of things in your career, but a Wembley final, how does that rank? Yeah,
for me personally, it's one I've always wanted to tick off. I've never been to Wembley in a cup final day, so really looking forward to it. Not going to add any pressure personally to it. For me, it's just going to be another league game as we go out. Don't get me wrong, I put pressure on every league game, but it's going to be another game that comes around that won't build it up too much, and hopefully it will be a good day out.
Have you got lots of people that will be in the stands, for like your family and friends?
Yeah, I've got plenty. I've got lots. I need to sort the tickets out, and I'm going to do it tonight, so I've not got that pressure at the end of the week. But no, there's a lot travelling up, and a lot of people excited, and there's a lot more Chairboys fans in the Vokes family than there used to be.
Sam Vokes speaking to me up at the training ground with an appearance from the Sprinkler, and you will definitely hear from the Sprinkler a couple more times during the programme tonight. I also on Tuesday chatted to David Stockdale just before training began, and David suggested that we go into an office so nobody actually would notice that he was missing. So 2 years ago, of course, you were on the bench. It must be really exciting actually to be going, and I'm assuming this time that you're going to be starting.
We'll see when the team comes out if I get a chance. I think it's just as exciting, you know. I hadn't really thought about it much because of the difference in time. We were straight there, whereas this time we've got a couple of weeks to think about it. I've tried not to think about it. I've been sorting tickets out and parking, so I
don't think you imagine that a player's going to be sorting out parking, but that just says everything about this club. I think that actually all of the players just muck in.
Yeah, we all sort out. We've spent last week sorting out with each other, so everything's fair, ticketing wise, and how the lads and families can get tickets, and that's what we do. Everything's fair, and everyone in the whole club gets shares.
How many people have you got coming down to watch the game?
I think I've got about 50 tickets altogether, so about 50 coming down from sunny Yorkshire.
And what are you expecting in the game? Obviously, against MK, at Stadium MK, it was just insane. It was such a remarkable display of just defensive genius from you and the defence.
It took me a while to get my hard hat off, and my armour, but no, I think it could be the same, it could be different. Who knows? Because it's such a one-off game, and I think it'd be hectic to start with until it all settles down and then people get in the rhythm, but you just don't know, because it's hard. Like, normally in a league game you can say, oh well, they normally play like this, they set out like this, but no one's at home, no one's away. It's a playoff final, it's a cup final really, and anything can happen on the day.
And obviously you've got that knowing that it's a big game, but is it almost who that affects more and how much you can just go and play your natural game when you're actually there kicking off?
There's all sorts of variables in cup finals, and it could be a decision from the ref, the VAR now, could be anything.
How do you feel about the VAR?
Not too bothered really, because it's right and you get things right, but I was brought up on the lover of like FA Cup games when the team from the non-league might score an offside goal just offside, go through 1-0 and everyone's complaining, but that's the magic of the cup. So there's points for each, so it's nice for us, you know. We'll have to brush up on our skills on what gets said and what. Somebody said you can't time waste. I said you can't look at time wasting on VAR, so I should be all right.
That's very honest of you, David. There weren't so many of us who were there at St James Park in Exeter back last summer, but I do very much remember that penalty shootout. And if you were making a film, I know probably if you were making a film it would all be about Bayo and The Last Dance and whatever, but if you were making a David Stockdale film, the penalty shootout, a rerun of the penalty shootout at Exeter would be a fine way to end the season.
It would be, yeah. I'd rather not get to fifth penalty and me taking it. I'm pretty sure there's a few lads that are more careful than I am, but hopefully I can do my best. And like you say, anything can happen. It could go to penalties. People don't want it to, but look, if it went to penalty, it means we're still in the game. They are, obviously, but look, we've got some good set piece takers as well. But look, we're going for one thing only, is to win. We know how hard it is. We know they'll have a lot of supporters, but this is Wycombe. Nobody can rule us out.
And we'll have a lot of loud supporters as well.
Yeah, we have the Spanish lads with the flags. We've got a few noisy lot from Yorkshire coming down, and no, it's going to be a great day. And like I say, whatever happens, 2 years ago, fans weren't allowed in the stadium, so it's great for them and a great experience. Let's just make a great day of it, and we'll just smile. That's all you can do, smile and enjoy the occasion, because like you say, you've got the sad bits that Bayo and Blooms, their last time, well, Blooms won't get to grace the pitch as a player, but he won't get the opportunity again, so I always think it might be my last time, so I'll smile, I'll enjoy it, and my kids will remember it.
The bell that you heard indicated the start of training, not that David Stockdale seemed actually very bothered during the interview. Jason McCarthy, of course, was on loan at Wycombe 2 seasons ago, but because the season didn't resume until July after it was paused because of COVID, he missed appearing for us in our last playoff campaign.
I was right there up until my loan got cut short, so I'm super excited. I guess there is an element of feeling like I did kind of miss out, and I was part of that group, and I got the medal as well, but I didn't feel like I was there, even though it is technically a promotion. I want to be there and be amongst it. So yeah, no, I'm super excited, trying to keep it as much of a normal week as possible, but yeah, can't wait.
How much different is it, sort of like between like going, thinking it's a normal match and thinking it's something really, really special? Whereabouts does it sort of go in between those two?
I kind of said to myself, after the MK Dons game, the second leg, I said to myself, that week I'll enjoy it, and I'll, think about and get involved in them conversations about Wembley, and, really think about it. And then I think this week I'm just totally zoning in on the game and focusing on the job and task at hand. So I guess that's the balance I've sort of took upon myself. But yeah, of course it's difficult because there's so much on the line. But you got to also embrace it and channel it in the right way and use it. I think if you do that, then you give yourself the best chance.
And presumably for you, with the sort of outside influences, so you've got probably friends and family saying, can you get us a ticket, in the way that, with all due respect to them, if we're away to Accrington, you probably haven't got that sort of hassle.
That's right, yeah. I feel for JJ. He's been sorting all the tickets out, and Tom, our secretary, who's been sorting all these stuff out. I feel for them. I don't envy them in times like this, but yeah, it's funny, you do get some people popping out the woodwork saying they'd like a ticket now. We didn't get many free ones, so yeah, it's been quite the similar message to everyone really. And if you want a ticket, I guess you're going to go and have to buy one. But the fact that we're bringing 20,000 is already, and we've still got just under a week to go, is incredible. And it's so exciting and gives everyone so much encouragement when we hear things like that.
It's always very noticeable that we have players at Wycombe who go away and they regularly come back. Yeah. What is it about this club that actually is so appealing?
There's a few. Do you know what? I think there's a few things in that. I think maybe people haven't thought that Wycombe could match their players' personal ambitions. I totally believe that is the case now. I think that the club is going in an incredible direction, and the drawback is the club. It's the gaffer, it's the people, it's Dobbo, it's the staff, it's the players who have been here. There's a lot of longevity here with the players, so you create relationships, you create bonds, the team spirit. The fans are brilliant. Me and my family have really settled here in the area. There's many different things, but here just feels home to me. It feels right. I get a good feeling here. I think I've played my best football here as well, and I feel like I thrive here, so this has definitely become home for me. And like you said, a lot of players do go away, but they often find themselves coming back because it's such a draw, and the club's only going in one direction, so who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
We had the news that VAR is going to be used in the game. How do you feel personally about VAR?
A couple of people have asked me this already. Honestly, I couldn't care less. Honestly, that's my honest answer, I couldn't care less. Like, I think it's going to be the same for both teams. You know, some people said, "Oh, is that good for Wycombe?" I don't know. Like, you know, I've got people like Luke O'Nien who does stuff off the ball as well. So I know that for a fact because I've trained with him.
Anis Mehmeti's friend, that is Luke O'Nien.
Yeah, that's right. So I know that for a fact. So, you know, everyone will have to be on their best behaviour, but no, I don't think it really affects the game too much. If anything, it's a good thing because you can you get the right decisions and stuff like that. So I'm not bothered about that, not thinking about that, if I'm being honest. But if it's cool for some people, then great. But yeah.
Has there been any contact between the players and Mr. O'Nien?
I haven't spoke to him actually this last week or two, but no, I'm sure we will be after the game. Luke's a great guy, he's a friend of mine, really good friends of Luke. He's a great player, great person, and I know he'll be doing his best for Sunderland. But on Saturday I'm hoping that we get the victory, of course. But yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Luke. I hold him in high regard. He's had a big impact on me actually in my career, just in terms of his work ethic, his work rate. I've got really fond memories of training with him, of playing with him. So I have nothing but good words to say about Luke, and yeah, he's a great player and someone we'll have to take note of on Saturday.
Jason McCarthy, and another appearance by the Wycombe Wanderers training ground Sprinkler. Joe Jacobson took part in a press conference earlier in the week. He was asked how much difference being in a side that regularly experiences the playoffs makes.
Something that we've spoken about is the experience we've got in the squad. We had obviously the recent Wembley game a couple of years ago, where we still got quite a good number of players who were involved that day, still at the club. And it's just these little things that if you can kind of relate back to, you can speak to each other about. People are asking little questions about the stadium, about the fans, about what it's like there and stuff like that. And if you can give people kind of a heads up of what it's like on those occasions, then it can only kind of benefit us. We spoke before the MK Dons game about how much more experience we had than them regarding the playoffs. And I think it showed in the first game especially. So like I said, any little gains we can get, any little percentages, we've got a lot of playoff experience in the squad, a lot of boys who have won playoff games and campaigns, which is hopefully really helpful for us.
Obviously, this is going to be a huge occasion, very different to the last time you were at Wembley.
It'll be completely different. Even the build-up now, sorting out tickets for family and friends and things like that, and having more media around the training ground and things like that, which didn't happen before. We were kind of left on our own to just go out and win a football match, whereas this is the hype around it all, which is nice. It's nice to have. We wouldn't have it any other way. Sunderland are going to bring a huge amount of following with them, and like we are too. We took a couple of thousand to MK Dons, could have been more, and kind of outsung them. So, you know, we more than back ourselves to create an atmosphere with the Wycombe fans we've got. And yeah, it's exciting. We want a full house. We want as many people there as possible. And you grow up want to be a professional footballer, to play in occasions like this in front of full houses. And 2 years ago was great, but the one thing we all said after the game was, wouldn't it be nice with all the fans in, with your families there and everyone to kind of celebrate with? So yeah, we're really looking forward to that.
Do you feel like there's a lot of confidence in the team at the moment, especially with the way you've been playing over the last sort of 12 games or so?
Yeah, there's huge amount of confidence. And, you know, probably 2 or 3 months ago, we had a bit of a blip, and you know, we changed a few things around to try and get out of that blip. And, you know, eventually we managed to get that victory. And since then, we haven't kind of looked back. We've changed things. We've had probably a settled side the last 5 or 6 weeks. But, you know, when players have got injured or missed out, we've got the players who've slotted straight back into the team. And I think that's a sign of strength from the squad that we've got, you know, 20, 25 players who are all ready and able to slot straight into the team. So confidence is high. Look, we're in the playoff final. I don't think you can get there without beating big teams. And the last 5 or 6 games that we've played, we've played 3 of the top 7 or 8 teams in the league and had good results against them. So yeah, we're full of confidence going into the game.
And it must be so pleasing, the adaptability of the team, the 2 legs of the MK Dons, obviously. The home leg was really attacking, and you showed great defensive strength, obviously, in the away leg, which must really stand you in good stead for Saturday.
Yeah, look, we can change up the way we play quite easily. We've got players who can go and win games on their own. We've got a squad of players who are all happy to run for each other and to tackle and to track back and do extra work than probably what needed of their positions in other clubs. And that's a credit to those players. The MK Dons game wasn't a defensive performance just by the defenders. That was a whole 15, 16, 18 players, however it was in the squad to get that result, and we show that resolve together. And look, the games are always going to be different in a two-legged affair like that. With the result after the first game, we knew it was going to be tough and they were going to come out at us. And I thought we defended really well in the end and were resolute. I think a lot of people, gave us a lot of credit after that second game to show, you could see the character, you could see the culture and the desire all the players have for not just for themselves, but to help each other as well is huge credit to the gaffer for putting that kind of culture together.
Does it feel like you're doing it especially extra for the fans this season? Because last time you were there, obviously you didn't have supporters at Wembley.
Yeah, of course. And, Wycombe's had 1 year in the Championship on second tier of English football ever in their history, and no fans, or there's 2 games where there's 1,000 fans, whatever it was, were able to come and see us play. So, they're all desperate to be able to see us in the Championship. The final, great, but they want to see us having a season in the Championship, competing against these huge, huge clubs of English football. And as much as the boys really want to do it for ourselves and our families, we want to do it for the club and the fans, and they deserve it. They like I said, in the history of this football club, they've never really been able to experience Championship football, and hopefully we can give that to them.
Mark McAdam from Sky asking the questions, along with our very own Colin Besley. I told you that he would make an appearance, and he's going to make one more appearance on the programme as well. That's still to come later on when we hear from Gareth Ainsworth. Back to the training ground and the sprinkler, and I spoke to Lewis Wing, who admitted that there would be split loyalties about the match in his family.
First trip to Wembley, so it's going to be a very exciting one. Obviously, coming from the North East, it's going to have that extra bit of spice, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, have you got any mates from Sunderland coming down?
Yeah, well, half of my family will be in the crowd, so watch supporting Sunderland, so hopefully I'll score the winner against them.
Yeah, that will make you very, very popular, I can imagine.
No, definitely. Maybe popular with Middlesbrough fans, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And this must be brilliant for you and just confirmation as to why you came to Wycombe Wanderers.
Yeah, exactly. That was the main reason I came here, to get in the playoffs and have moments like this, and it's going to be a special day for not just me, my family and Wycombe Football Club.
We always think here that actually we have got something very special coming on, and it's always interesting to speak to players who've recently arrived. How different is the culture here at Wycombe Wanderers to other stuff that you've experienced?
Yeah, it's a proper family club. Everyone's together, everyone's as one. It's been a great experience and I've loved every minute of it.
Lisa Bowker's strimmer was drowning out the sprinkler there. We'll have more about her strimmer later on in the programme. Phil Catchpole has been catching up with Ryan Tafazolli. Phil asked Tafa how you prepare for a one-off pressure game when you know that there is so much at stake.
As hard as it may be, I think you've got to look at it like this is just another game. Play your game. Don't let the occasion get the better of you. Play the game, and I like to do a little bit of meditation, a little bit of visualisation, get me in good stead mentally going into the game. That always works for me. So yeah.
And what's your Wembley experience? Have you ever played there?
No, I've never played there. We actually, I think, Waitsy was saying to me the other day that me and Vokes are the only 2 players in the squad who never played at Wembley, and then he asked Vokesy just to double check in the morning, have you played at Wembley? And Vokesy was like, yeah, I've been there already. So I think it's just me who's never actually been to Wembley in the entire matchday squad, so it'll be a good experience, I'm sure.
So when it comes to your visualisation, how are you preparing for that, having not had that experience of being there before?
It's more so you sort of like visualise how the game's going to go, the players you're up against, like doing good things, even like doing bad things as well, so you're ready for the worst case scenario, and then you're able to sort of like react to that better in a game.
And your other preparation, looking at Sunderland as well?
Yeah, of course, standard stuff. Watch their strikers, watch their wingers, watch the number 10s. Obviously, we get footage from the analysts here, Blooms, Dobbo. Lee will show us some clips as well. So yeah, we won't leave any stones unturned for this game. We'll have everything covered.
Ross Stewart, they call him the Loch Ness Drogba. He'll be one to keep an eye on the Saturday, right?
Of course, yeah. For us, it's always the striker. You know, we always got to keep an eye on the striker, and myself and Anthony, Chris, whoever may play back there, has got a job on their hands because they're a good side and they've got good players.
Phil Catchpole speaking to Ryan Tafazolli. You can hear the whole of that interview by subscribing to Wanderers TV. It is, of course, Adebayo Akinfenwa's final game for Wycombe Wanderers and, of course, of his career. However, he spoke to Sky Sports News and was keen to focus attention on the team, the match, and one person in particular, Chairboys boss Gareth Ainsworth and his ethos.
Be comfortable with who you are. It's the most powerful thing that, as an individual, you can own. Is to be comfortable with who you are, and that is our gaffer. And I keep saying it, I don't think he's a conventional manager. I'm not a conventional player, and he's definitely not conventional because he rocks cowboy boots and these open shirt things. I keep saying this to him, but as much as we're tight, he keeps doing it, so each to his own. But no, when I mean, and he said it, he said football brought us together, but life will keep us. And that's why I connect with him. You see him on the sideline, like he never wants to take the. If we lose, he says it's his fault. If we win, he says it's ours. So and for me, when somebody's that selfless, it is a powerful thing. The energy that he emits, you feel it. And I said we was destined. We was destined to work with one another. I believe things happen for a reason. It so happens our birthday's on the same day. So yeah, man, we was destined. So I've got time for him, and for myself, his club, but also for him. He is the one common denominator with the backroom staff. You know, Dobbo, Kean, the physio, Waitsy, like they're the one common denominator. That's players come and go, but for however long he's been here, you've seen this club, the trajectory's only gone up and up and up. And when people are trying to find whatever the secret is, it's him, it's them, and then what they bring in and around it. So me, I've got nothing but like strong words for him. But to be fair, it may change if he doesn't bring me on Saturday. No, I'm playing. Like, you know, I'm playing. No, listen, as long as we get the W, that's all that matters.
The legend that is Adebayo Akinfenwa. Still to come on the Wycombe Wanderers Show, we will be hearing from some of those who are big Wycombe fans who also happen to work for the club.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
And this is the Wycombe Wanderers Show, a very special edition as we're focusing, of course, completely on the playoff final between the Chairboys and Sunderland, which takes place this Saturday at Wembley Stadium. In this part of the programme, we are going to hear from people who are very much Wycombe fans, but who also happen to work for the club. Starting off with Wycombe's commentator, Phil Catchpole. I spoke to him and said, whilst it's a big day, obviously, for the players, it's almost a very, very big day as well for the commentator.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's my third Wembley, believe it or not, in my short sort of reign as a commentator. Unbelievable. One with fans that we lost, one without fans that we won. So I'm hoping it all comes together on Saturday against Sunderland and we can celebrate under the arch with the fans and the players as well, and call the action right, because it's obviously a pressurised day for the players, but I want to make sure that when it happens I get it right.
Is it very much that you're treating it just as another match, or is it a little bit special?
It's just another game. It really is, and you know, to use the cliche, you know, it's the same pitch, same goals, 11v11, and yeah, so in terms of preparation and thinking about it and calling it, it's just another game. Obviously the stakes are high, and the pressure will be there, and there's going to be thousands of fans there. It's going to be a wonderful atmosphere, which just adds to it. That's the soundtrack of these games for me, so I'm really looking forward to that, because it's going to be a cauldron and it's going to be brilliant, hopefully, and yeah, a great day for the town and the club.
Is there anything different at Wembley? Do you get looked after a little bit more? Do you get any special screens or anything like that?
Yeah, we get a replay screen at Wembley, which is really helpful for us, and we get some nice food as well, if I remember rightly, if I go back to 2015. So yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, I actually qualified as a journalist at Wembley Stadium, so I spent every single day there for 5.5 months. So it's a place I know well, and I know it well empty as well, which is quite weird. So I'm looking forward to it being full of Wycombe and Sunderland fans on Saturday. But yeah, the treatment's nice there. You know, you get a good view of the pitch. The facilities are good. So yeah, there's no excuses for me. I've got to, you know, if I get something wrong, there'd be no excuses, because I should be able to see it fairly clearly.
Is the special shirt being ironed?
No, the shirt remains sort of untouched as it was the moment it was thrown at me by Pete Couhig. Nothing has changed. It hasn't been washed, unfortunately. That was 14 games ago now. So that'll be there on Saturday. It's in a secret location at the moment, under lock and key, just to make sure that Sunderland fans are trying to steal it before Saturday because of its magic powers.
And I see that actually it's gaining worldwide popularity as well.
Yeah, you can. Well, up until about 6 or 7 days ago, you could buy them. They're now sold out. Now there was a company,
which is down to you. That is.
Oh yeah, whoever's selling them in New Orleans must be wondering what the hell's going on. But yeah, they've sold out now. Although I do believe they do a mini dress version as well, which is still in stock. If anyone wants to get a bit outlandish for Saturday, then there's a mini dress version available.
You can imagine some bloke saying, why am I getting all these orders from High Wycombe?
Well, that's the great thing about football, isn't it? And he's probably had them gathering dust there. This is from 1999, this shirt, the official shirt of New Orleans Jazz Festival from over 20 years ago. And they make one every single year, and this guy must be wondering what the hell's going on. But brilliant, isn't it?
You are, of course, a Wycombe fan. You remember seeing them at Lokes Park. It's a very special club, isn't it? And just amazing that actually we're going to Wembley again.
Yeah, once you kind of take a step back and look at it, and I'm thinking my first game was in the Isthmian League, what is now Conference South, at Lokes Park. Changed ends at half time. It was wonderful, an amazing day to be a kid and get their first experience of football, and to be here now thinking our next game's at Wembley Stadium against Sunderland, who, if you only got to roll the clock back to the day that Wycombe survived at Torquay, they beat Man United that day in the Premier League. So they've fallen a bit, we've come up a bit, and here we are, toe to toe. After 46 games, we were 1 point behind them in the table. This is a proper game of football here. Yes, they're a massive giant club, and it's wonderful that Wycombe can go toe to toe with them on Saturday. And I know they don't fancy playing us. I know they've got a lot of fans and they've got a lot of history, but I don't think they fancy us at all.
Phil Catchpole, if you haven't seen the shirt yet, if you didn't know what he was referring to, Phil has a very special shirt that he started wearing since our winning run started, and so he hasn't actually washed it since then. It's definitely worth checking out on social media because it is a fantastic shirt, and I absolutely love the fact that now lots of people from England are contacting this bloke in America saying, we want this shirt. And he must be thinking, what on earth is going on? Moving on, let's hear now from Head of Media Matt Cecil. He has seen the Chairboys at Wembley several times, both as a fan and also as a club official. In fact, it was where he saw his first ever Wycombe Wanderers game.
Yeah, my first game was in '93, an FA Trophy final against Runcorn. I'm told that I went in my full kit expecting to play because I didn't understand the concept of watching a game of football. Jason Cousins scored after 2 minutes. The crowd went wild, and that was probably the moment that I was hooked on football and Wycombe Wanderers. I grew up in, what were the glory years of the early 90s with Martin O'Neill and so many legends, and that got the bug. I think when I became a teenager, my attentions could have been diverted elsewhere, were it not for a cup run in 2001. And, I remember being in floods of tears at Villa Park because we all thought we were going to beat Liverpool. I remember being a bag of nerves at Torquay in the away end. I remember being pitch side at Wembley when I started working for the club in 2015, being congratulated by Southend's press officer on 119 minutes of that playoff final, and half an hour later I was having to congratulate him through gritted teeth. I've ridden the roller coaster with this club, and it's been absolutely brilliant. And you have to experience the lows to appreciate the highs, really. So, yeah, I'm sure on Saturday morning when I'm getting the train to Wembley, I'll cast my mind back to Torquay and the week before that against Bristol Rovers. I'll cast my mind back to relegations, all the, the difficult days last year, really, behind closed doors and when things weren't going our way. And just think, all those kind of horrible feelings in the pits of your stomach when you, when things aren't going your way. They're a little bit easier to handle when you're walking out at Wembley with your team.
Yeah, and I think we'll all take a moment to remember those times, and also take a moment to remember those Chairboys fans who are no longer with us as well. And there have been so many recently. Obviously Alana, obviously Sandy Durban, David Robertson, lots and lots of people that actually I'm sure that everyone in the club will be thinking of as they walk out on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so wonderful seeing the flag that the guys have created for Lena, because it reminds us of her every single game up and down the country. She would have been there with the boys and girls and making all the noise, and she still is there in spirit. And just this week we learned of the sad passing of Chris Jeffries, a lifelong Wycombe fan, and he and his son walked the ball out on the day of the Sheffield Wednesday game. We didn't, it was a private moment for them. We didn't really tell the story about it at the time. Callum had got in touch to say that this may be Chris's last game as a Wycombe fan, and they were able to share a really special moment. Callum got in touch over the weekend to let us know that his dad had very sadly passed away, and once I got that message and you share it around the club, within an instant, Joe Jacobson was on the phone to Callum, wishing condolences from the squad. A lot of the players sent messages on social media. You know, this isn't orchestrated. This isn't something that we do just because it looks good on the club. It's an ingrained culture that if you're in the Wycombe family, you're in the Wycombe family. Player, staff, supporter, volunteer, director, sponsor, whatever it might be. That's how we conduct ourselves, and it's great knowing that those supporters no longer with us. You know, we'll be looking down somewhere, they'll be in so many of our thoughts, and we'll raise a glass to them when we're celebrating on Saturday night.
And this is why actually our club is so special. And when you're involved in the media side, you get to have a sense of actually what other clubs are like, and not all other clubs are like Wycombe Wanderers at all. I think we are probably very unique.
Yeah, I'm sure every club would claim to be, particularly special. But there's a lot of clubs not very happy with their owners, or not very happy with the way they've been run. Managers getting booed and players being slated. You just don't get that here. You just get such a relaxed culture. You know, there was a fear in 2019 that when the club was up for sale and seeking investment, that we'd lose that kind of fan-owned feeling and sentiment around the place. If anything, it's just developed it, and the club has been made more financially sustainable, which makes everything a little bit easier. It makes it a little bit easier for us to put on a good show for our supporters, to make their experience better. You know, the Couhigs have been absolutely incredible for me personally, for the club as a whole, for all the staff that are down there working their fingers to the bone at the moment, are doing it with a smile on their face. When Rob Couhig walked in July the 1st 2019, sat down with the staff, he said, this will be the best job you ever have, this will be the best place you ever work. It'll take a while, we're going to get there, we're going to focus on the football first, that's the first thing that needs sorting out, but trust me, come on this journey with us and you're going to love every minute of it. And you know, I was here before then, and a lot of the staff at the time had maybe going through a tough time. They've come on that journey. Everyone is so pleased with where we're at, and they bought into how we do things. And it's just been an incredible 3 years of Couhig ownership, 10 years of Gareth Ainsworth, and for me, 30 years as a supporter. As I say,
you still don't look that old, to be honest.
I'm feeling old this week, I tell you. It'll be even older by Saturday. And you know what? I ran on the pitch at MK Dons quite excitedly at full time, especially after the torture of those 90 minutes. But the first thing I wanted to do was just go over and wave at my family, who, you know, like everybody else, wasn't able to be at Wembley 2 years ago. I was having to FaceTime them from the pitch during all the celebrations, and I just wanted to say to them, you know, we're all going together now. All the Wycombe family are going to be at Wembley. You missed out on that opportunity 2 years ago. We always wondered how long it would be until we get a chance to go back. Now we're going back. You're all coming. We're going to have such a special occasion. There might be a couple more Sunderland fans than Wycombe fans in the stadium, but I tell you what, the noise and the passion from the Wycombe fans is going to be unrivalled.
Matt, with a very good lesson there. Never congratulate your opposite number until the game has finished, in the same way as you should never leave a Chairboys game early. Lisa Bowker has pretty much seen it all in her time as a Chairboys fan and a representative of the club. She is, of course, a trust director. She volunteers to do all sorts of jobs, and she was at the training ground, as you have already heard, trimming the grass when I was there on Tuesday. And she's not surprised that we are back at Wembley.
I never doubted we'd get to the playoffs. I actually said right at the beginning of the season it'd be a Sunderland-Wycombe playoff final.
Wow, okay.
So,
did you put any money on that?
No, I'm on the trust board, I'm not allowed to bet. But no, really looking forward to it. And to see we've sold 20,000 tickets already. I mean, that's 5,000 more than we did 7 years ago, and 20,000 more than we did 2 years ago. So no, it's a big occasion for all of us, especially after COVID and everything else. We deserve the party because we didn't have it 2 years ago. So they will deliver, no doubt whatsoever.
Every time I come up here, you're normally up here doing work. You've got your strimmer out today. What's the atmosphere been like in the last couple of weeks? Do you sense anything different?
They're just normal, working hard, getting down to it. Obviously, they're so together. They're always buzzing. They're always laughing. Always working hard. And you've just got that feel of a real togetherness amongst the squad. And to watch them train, which I do frequently, you know, they're listening intently, working. And, you know, they're going to do all right. They're a great group of lads, from the youngsters right up to the senior players. And who knows, is it going to be a last dance in the sun for Bayo on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it's all set up, isn't it? If you're writing the script of a film, this is how it will be. Yeah.
You know, we're 3-0 up at Sunderland, bring him on for the fourth goal, and we'll beat him 4-0.
Very optimistic lady. That's Lisa Bowker. Still to come on the Wycombe Wanderers Show, we will be hearing from Rob Couhig, from Matt Bloomfield, and, of course, from from Gareth Ainsworth.
Saturday from 12.
Hello, this is Rob Lesmers. I've got Luke here as well.
Hello.
This is a really big Saturday coming up for Wycombe Wanderers. They are in the League One playoff finals at Wembley, kick off at 3 o'clock, and the great thing is that we're going to be doing the show from there from 12 o'clock this Saturday.
Yep, you're going to be live outside on Wembley Way.
It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to love this. We have the most incredible vantage point which looks over Wembley Way and the steps up to Wembley, where we'll see all of the supporters coming down from Wycombe to support their local team, and we will be right in the middle of it. We'll be live on air from 12 o'clock. Luke, you'll be out with some of the supporters as well.
Yeah, and I'll be live inside the stadium as well with all the team news from inside the world-famous Wembley Stadium.
Join us for the Rob Lesperance Radio Show. We kick off from 12 o'clock this Saturday.
The Rob Lesperance Radio Show, live from Wembley, this Saturday from 12.
See what I did there?
That was good, that was nice.
You're listening to Wycombe Sound, online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM.
Not going to the game on Saturday, make sure that you join Rob and the team for all of the build-up from 12 o'clock on Saturday here on Wycombe Sounds. It's the Wycombe Wanderers Show. Bob Johnson here with you through until 8 o'clock tonight. The last part now where we focus on some of those at the top of the club. And Chairman Rob Couhig has flown in from America today, especially for the game. However, as well as looking forward, he's also looking back. And when he spoke to Sky Sports News earlier, he wanted to remind them that Wycombe actually should still be a championship club.
Remember, we were there. We only became relegated because of a fluke by Derby failing to file their financial disclosure forms timely. If they had, we would still be in the championship. We have a club that is being built for the championship now. So we fully expect that when we get up there, we'll be staying for a while. I mean, this is what we've been working at and what we promised the fans when we first came over here 3 years ago, that we would be going to the championship, and here we are on the precipice, and it is exciting. And they tell me that the stadium will be full on Saturday, and with the largest crowd in League One history, which is pretty fantastic. One of the things I've learned about English football, and they use this term all the time, that you're part of the journey, and that each part of the journey provides its own individual memory. But for this, it'll be something people will be talking about 30 years from now. Were you there? Were you not there? And of course, the number of people that were there, if we win, will be astronomical. And if we don't, it'll be the 30,000 who we actually bring. So, yeah, it's a great, great time. I feel honored to be part of it. I'm truly grateful for our staff who are putting it together for our fans, for the players who brought us here, for Gareth and his staff who caused this to be. And, for my family to participate in it is just a wonderful honor.
That's Chairman Rob Couhig. They arrived from America today. Rob straight away doing media interviews. Missy was straight in to the club shop. I went down there earlier on to get some of the playoff goodies that they do have now in. So if you haven't got your playoff goodies yet, do get down to the club shop because they've got foam fingers, they've got playoff scarves, they've got playoff flags. So if you haven't got any of those yet, then make sure that you get down to the club shop sometime tomorrow. I also spoke to Matt Bloomfield when I was up at the training ground and asked him whether there were any regrets that he wasn't able to pull on a Wembley shirt for one last time at Wembley Stadium.
Just looking ahead to the game, I'm really proud and really excited to be involved in it, full stop. I love my playing career, but time's moved on, so there's no sadness. I'm just proud of our lads and taking their performance out to Wembley on Saturday and hopefully show themselves in a good light, which is what we're after.
It's going to be obviously very different to the last time that we were there because we're going to have the fans there and so many fans from High Wycombe this time as well.
Yeah, incredible support from our guys. I can't believe how many tickets we're selling. It's just, it just seems to have been growing over the last few months, that feeling of optimism and positivity around the place. There seems to be a real connection between the players and the supporters and the staff. It just seems to be a really nice place to be at the moment, real positive environment. And I'm so pleased that so many of the supporters can be there and share the day with us on Saturday, because obviously 2 years ago. It was a crying shame that they couldn't be there. So first and foremost, I hope they all enjoy their day. I hope they make the most of it and love every minute of it. And obviously we're hoping to give them a win to cheer.
What do you do with the players to prepare them for a game like that? How much is there a sort of sense of, yes, this is a special game, or actually saying to them, this is just another league game, this is just another game, go out and play the 90 minutes?
The actual football, you need to play the game, not the occasion. So once you're on the pitch, there just needs to be a real awareness around it's just 11 men against 11 and 90 minutes like any other game. But obviously it's going to be slightly different because of the size of the stadium and because of the crowd and everything. So for me, there needs to be a slight awareness around that because it is going to look and feel slightly different. So you can't get too caught up on the actual occasion. All we're doing there is going to play the game against the Sunderland team who we respect. But we've done our preparation and we're looking forward to it.
And is there also a little sense of looking ahead to what might happen, and it might go to obviously 120 minutes or penalties?
We prepare for everything. We prepare in depth as much as we possibly can for every possible scenario and eventuality. So yeah, first and foremost, it's about the 90 minutes, and if it moves on any further than that, then we'll be prepared for that if and when it comes to it.
Mr. Wycombe, Matt Bloomfield. And finally on the Wycombe Wanderers Show, let's hear from the Chairboys boss, Gareth Ainsworth. He gave a press conference earlier in the week, which was joined by, amongst others, our very own Colin Betley. Gareth was asked how he ensures that this will be another positive chapter in the club's history.
It's been a real rollercoaster, honestly. It has, from 8 years ago and 3 playoff finals now, which has been just brilliant. So we've got a bit of experience. So I've got quite a few boys who played in the 2020 final. So they know that you can't just say it's just another game. You can't just say that. It's Wembley Stadium. You've got to embrace it, but you've got to almost... there's a different way of playing a final than there is during the league games. There is... You've got to go through it, I think, first to know what it's all about. I was lucky enough to do it as a player. And what I'm hoping is some of my experienced boys who've been there before and done it are going to bring some of these young boys through. Or Ryan Tafazolli, he's not so young, but he's never been there, and I think the experience that's going to be around the dressing room is going to be vital for me on Saturday. I think that's what we're talking about, and it's going to be an interesting dynamic between some of these young boys who have come in through, who've absolutely lit up the season, and that's going to be key, I think, because it's going to be the biggest crowd probably most of my players have ever played in front of. It could be the record League One playoff attendance. It could be, the biggest support that's ever Wycombe Wanderers have ever taken anywhere this century. So there's all these things going with it, and I think rather than hide away from it and let the boys find out about that and be surprised and be shocked, actually embrace it and tell them what it's all about. And that's what we do. We're quite good at that here, about embracing what's happening and being real. And I think that's going to be our approach to this game. Yeah, of course, it's a huge occasion for this football club, but once again, with total underdogs, and that's going to be key to the way we approach things. We're going to enjoy the day, definitely, because there's nothing to lose at all and everything to gain.
If someone had said to you off the back of relegation from the Championship on the first day of this season that you'd end up in the playoff final at Wembley once again, what would you have said to them?
Yeah, honestly, Mark, we would have taken that. We'd have taken that all day. With all that comes with being in the Championship, and we were still not fancied to go straight back up, and rightly so, obviously, because we haven't gone straight back up. So, but we weren't fancied for the playoffs. I know pundits and people who were saying they could call the playoff final was going to be Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday, or Sunderland, and I think one pundit said Wimbledon even. So it's been crazy. Wycombe were never ever mentioned, and it was always almost like we're there, but people don't want to recognise we're there. And we use that to absolutely, we love that tag. We love that tag of how is this club? How is it still there? How is it still knocking around these places? And this season was big because obviously 2 years ago, people would always go back to it was COVID, it was points per game. We still had to win the playoffs, but that didn't seem to matter to anyone. The 3 games that we won. But this time, after 46 games, judges after 46, we finished in those playoffs. And we've got to the final, which for this football club, honestly, is an amazing achievement. It really is. And I can't wait to get stuck into Sunderland on Saturday.
What's the Wembley attire for this weekend? Is it going to be the Jeff Stelling open neck shirt or the leather jacket, or have you got something up your sleeve?
Do you know what? There might be something up the sleeve, but it's not going to be about me. The more they can focus on me and what I'm wearing, take the pressure off the boys, then the better it is for me. But leather jackets are definite no. I'd be stupid trying to look like the Fonz and melting at 30 degrees, at Wembley. So there'll definitely be something. I'm sure that the braids are still knocking about. The dreads that I promised the boys, which I didn't quite deliver on dreads, but I got braids. They're still knocking around. The shirt, you very rarely see me with the tie anyway. And I always seem to get these shirts that have one button too open. I don't know what that is. And the shoes might be the one. The red boots were retired not long ago, but there might be a surprise with another pair coming out. So we'll see what happens. But all I care about, honestly, is the boys enjoying the occasion, performing on the occasion, doing themselves total justice. Because I think if we do all that, we've got a real chance of winning.
How has the preparation felt for this game, say, compared to the Oxford game, obviously with the way that the club's grown and the fantastic season that you've had? Yeah,
it's different. Going with microwave preparation, really, compared to Oxford. If there was ever a slow cooker approach, that was it, because of the COVID. And we had 4 months to prepare for the playoffs, even though we didn't know we were in them, to a couple of months to go. And we had plenty of time to put plenty of plans in place. We were looking at the semi-final, even... we were looking at all the teams in the playoffs, Fleetwood, Oxford and Portsmouth that year. We were looking at all the teams and seeing what could possibly happen and being super prepared for all of them. This time round, we only found out we're in the playoffs on the last day. There was 4 days to prepare for the first game, 2 days to prepare for the second game. And it's been a fortnight now, but with that sort of schedule at the end of the season, the boys needed a few days off. So again, we're in the crux of things now, and it's making sure we get every single point and every single base covered, because there hasn't been the preparation at Oxford. We were doing games and 11v11s and looking at video footage felt like weeks for the Oxford game. This has been a little bit different, but the calibre of players we have now, I think they're very good. They're very astute, and of course the mental and physical sides are going to be huge at Wembley on Saturday as well. It's not just tactics and what you get into them. I think there's the way that people deal with the occasion and, physically as a squad. So both boxes there are ticked really well. And looking forward to seeing what we can do.
I appreciate there are certain things you won't be able to sort of reveal, but what can you tell us about the timetable between kind of now and kick-off on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, a normal training week. The boys need their downtime and their gym time and injury prevention activities. And then the time we get on the grass with them is going to be plenty of time Tuesday, plenty of time Thursday, plenty of time Friday. But you got to be careful with loading on Friday, and obviously the apprehension and the nerves they're going to have Friday, because we're going to Wembley on the Saturday. And so it's going to be, as a manager, looking at that side of things as much as just the training and the tactics. I'm looking at the whole package. I'm looking at the mental side very closely and the physical side. We've got data on the boys and making sure they're in tip-top shape for that. So those things have got to be balanced as well. And yeah, we're really good. We're looking really good as a squad. Just looking forward to.
And I know previously you've kind of really relished the underdog tag, and does that feel especially appropriate for Saturday as well?
Well, you can't not say we're the underdogs. Even at times in the past, maybe I've overplayed it. We're against teams of a similar size to us, but this is this is just a David and Goliath without a shadow of a doubt. I think the fans are going to be 2 or 3 times as many for Sunderland as Wycombe, but I am very proud to say this could be the biggest away following Wycombe Wanderers have ever had this century, which is phenomenal, with the cup runs they've had in the early 2000s and Wembley appearances. It's so really proud to say that. And it could possibly break the League One EFL record attendance as well for a playoff final, which, again, real proud moments for this football club to be involved with. But barring 1 or 2, I think it's going to be the biggest crowd that most of my boys have ever seen. And again, I wanted to embrace that and relish that. So this is what football is about, these moments. And we've succeeded already. We really have. We are a successful side in 21-22, without a shadow of a doubt. People remember 83 points in League One, greatest ever total. Nothing to lose, boys. Go and give your all and see what you can achieve.
And just finally, does it feel a really nice combination that, as you say, you've got players who've been on this occasion before, but a number who haven't as well?
Yeah, it's nice because the ones who have been there, they're going to get great gratification out of the ones who haven't been there. They're going to look at their faces and they're going to see the smiles and the hair standing on the back of their arms. And then you got experienced Joe Jacobson's who's got a habit of scoring at Wembley, who takes everything in his stride, and it's going to be a real interesting dynamic in that dressing room. But I'm sure we'll get it right because it's a fantastic place to be, and moments like this we embrace. And like I say, just can't wait to lead those boys out on that pitch with a fantastic following for both clubs. I've got to respect Sunderland and the size of the club they are, but I've also got to think we can spoil their party just as much as we did with Oxford back in 2020.
How do you feel about the tag Little Wycombe?
Well, my chairman, Rob Couhig, would not like the tag Little Wycombe because he wants us to be a competitor. It's really hard to change a club support-wise, in a year, in 2 years. It takes a long time. It takes a long process. And what I will say is that we're averaging more fans than we've done for such a long time. We're taking 25,000, hopefully, to Wembley Stadium. I think that calling us Little Wycombe now would be probably wrong. I think growing Wycombe would be a better term now, because I think we're definitely building something, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. I think there's more kits in the town centre than I've ever seen, more Wycombe kits. There's more press activity thanks to all you guys. And I think that just got to start shaking that Little tag off now. I think Little can be, very smaller clubs than Wycombe, and we can get sort of growing, building Wycombe. We're definitely not a big club, and maybe we'll never will be. But I think we're very respected in football now, and that was something when I took over I really wanted. So yeah, we're no longer little, but we're definitely not big yet. But the Championship would definitely help that.
Sky's Mark McAdam, our very own Colin Besley, and Daya from Wycombe High School asking the questions to Gareth Ainsworth. And that was this week's Wycombe Wanderers show. Big thanks as always to Matt, Cecil and the whole media team at Wycombe Wanderers for all of their help as usual. Do enjoy Saturday, be loud and proud. Colin will be back next Thursday with the final show of the season, whatever the results will be.